viewers jumping into our conversation this morning. Now, we're going to get things started off on what's been going on with the economy, and of course, who better to give us an idea from a private sector perspective than the chairman of the Tobago division of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and that is Mr. Curtis Williams. Good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Williams. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Kandace. Good morning to your viewers and listeners on Tobago Updates, and it's a pleasure being here.
Now, I mean, as we heard from the news, we have some delays in terms of quite a lot of our service providers, you know, getting their pay late. They would have done their jobs in 2023, but they're unable to access their payments and so on. You know, has the chamber received any of those complaints, and what have you guys been doing in the interim for that?
Okay, fine. We have a couple members who are part of the providers that haven't received their monies for the Carnival, for all the events gone. But it's not much of our members, all right? And according to the information coming out from the secretary, payments will be forthcoming. They're awaiting releases from the Division of Finance. So we expect by this National Carnival that the service providers will be paid. So we will keep our eyes on those projections and those commitments going forward.
And then speaking about Carnival now, things were up and down for the National Carnival, but we got the releases for the dates and so on for things came out yesterday, as a matter of fact. And so some of the things that were not going to be put on were put back on and so on, like some of the senior mass and whatnot. You know, what's your take on what's been happening or the planning for Carnival, National Carnival in particular, 2024?
Well, as we noticed, we're slowly moving away from the National Carnival in Tobago in terms of all that big event to the Tobago brand or the Tobago Carnival, which is in October. And this year it's going to be October the 25th, I think.
Yes.
And from our last meeting up to yesterday, we had a cocktail reception for stakeholders and suppliers of the Carnival, hosted by the Tourism Division. And some of the excitement for the Tobago Carnival, you know, there's some real excitement going to happen. In the National Carnival itself, that's the one next month. We don't expect much because we know the scaling down of such, because we have our own product, our own branding that we need to do come October. And we're looking forward to that. The entire business community is focusing on that Tobago Carnival. We heard about now we have 50% booked villas already. So this thing going to be big, and we are asking all our members and even other business folks out there to support the Tobago Carnival, because it's definitely going to be a big thing. Some of the band leaders even mentioned to us, if they did bring in probably 7,000 masqueraders this year, they're looking to double it. So we know there's going to be no room on the island. It's going to be a bumper event. I've seen how the Tobago Carnival could really evolve into something big and exciting. We know there are flaws. We know there are a couple of things that we didn't do properly last year, and we're hoping to correct them. So we spoke to all the relevant persons, and we're hoping that they do correct those flaws that they had last year.
Now, are you at all disappointed with the way things are going for the National Carnival? Or is it that, you know, you as a business community, you decided, you know what, it's okay, we'll just focus on all our energies on October?
Well, definitely. Most of our members decided to focus their energy on the October events and instead of the February events. And we know that there will be Kiddies Carnival, there will be something with the THA Interdepartment and Mud Mass and some other small events, I think in Juvenes and Roxborough, something of that nature, something of that. So we put in our energy into the October Carnival, which is Tobago Carnival. Let's brand out that carnival. Let's make that something on the calendar of events for the island, and let's develop that industry. There are a lot of work to be done in developing that industry, and we're hoping that the stakeholders and all the persons involved could really meet and discuss how we're going to build that Tobago brand, that Tobago Carnival brand.
Now, earlier this week, I spoke to several Carnival mass band leaders who themselves, they are focusing their energies on October, but one of them in particular, who is putting out a Kiddies band for February, said that maybe we should consider branding the Tobago leg or the Tobago part of the National Carnival as a place to be for Kiddies Carnival. I mean, what does the business community think about something like that?
Well, that's great. We know the kids can really enjoy themselves. It's a separate time because the October Carnival will not give that space for the kids. We leave that more for the adults. And this National Carnival for the kiddies, that would be great. The schools to bring out the bands, the various schools across the island to bring out the bands, and we get corporate sponsors to assist them in these. Let's start moving away from the THA and let's look more at the corporate sponsors and the business community to assist in that process of building out that. And the same thing for the Tobago Carnival. Slowly, the THA should start to cut back on spending and let the business community take up. So that would be a little more privatized and let us get some more in the return on our investment instead of waiting for a handout from the THA. The thing's supposed to be more run by business persons instead of the THA.
All right, now I want to talk a little bit even about the state of the economy right now, because we ended 2024 in a little bit of a low note because I know the business community complained that the sales for Christmas were not as great as expected. You know, there were, I mean, you had an uptick during the October Carnival, but it dropped after that. You know, what are things looking like now? I mean, we know it's January, that's the hardest month of the year, but you know, what is it looking like?
So what looks exciting on the horizon for us is the cruise ship, the cruise ship visitors. I mean, Kandace, I mean, it was blowing. We see all those tour operators, the reef tours, the Mount Irving Bay hotels. If you look at the beach yesterday, my God, I mean, are we looking at Crown Point with some of the guests being entertained by some of the restaurants there and stuff. So the tourism aspect of it, we've seen an uptake in the tourism aspect of it. We've seen something moving there, but we want a trickle-down effect. We just don't want that sector alone. We want the other sector to benefit from it. But now as the cruise ship is in place, we've seen some upticks with the cruise ship, and we need to take care of that. And if we take good care of that whole tourism in terms of the cruise ship, we could develop that into a big take for Tobago. Really, really good.
But what about the overall economy? You know, how is it doing?
Well, overall, there were a couple agenda items because we did meet with the chief sec and his team and identify a couple major products they're hoping to embark on this year. Some of them like the Scarborough project and some other projects that they were looking at. And so we see something good coming out of it. Even our trip now to Ghana, the Chamber and the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association, along with other business and stakeholders, we're planning this trip to Ghana to hoping to seek investment. And I think the THA will be part of it too. So Kandace, that's excitement for us. So we're looking to see what we can do with direct investment coming in from Africa. And that's the game changer there. A direct flight from Africa to Tobago, Kandace, that's a big game changer. So we're looking forward to those excitement coming up in March. And I wish.
So wait. I just want to stick up in because you said a direct flight from Ghana to Tobago. Because I don't think we've heard too much of that yet. I'm not sure if this was one of those things that the THA was trying to keep on the rails.
These are the topic that we're looking forward to. You know, speaking with in Africa with the airlines, one of the larger airline company there, and the possibility of flights from Africa direct to Tobago. I mean, Kandace, we're going all out to see what we can do as a business community for the island, and that will definitely be a big uptake, and as we look forward to it. That trip to Ghana is going to be hosted by the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturing Association. The government have a part to play with it. The Chamber, of course, Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce, we have a big part to play with it, and we definitely going to take a team up to Ghana in March. So we're hoping that that other players come on board, private sector, other business folks come on board and assist in the entire conversation of bringing business to Trinidad and Tobago.
And certainly, now after that meeting with the Chief Secretary, and of course he promised to meet with you guys and he followed through on that promise. Are you satisfied, or are you feeling better about that relationship with the THA to make business better, to help the economy in Tobago grow?
Right, Kandace, coming out of that meeting, we can see a clear path on how we definitely going to develop and how things are going to move, and that's the good part about it. I mean, our meeting notes and everything will tell us all the different strategies and plans of the THA, and we definitely going to hold the executive to those commitments. And if they say January, we hope in January that comes, and we would call the chief sec and his executive. Why in January this didn't happen? What was the reason why it didn't happen? Or why you didn't tell us before that you were having challenges? So we definitely going to hold the assembly accountable for all the promises they made to us throughout that session, because we, the business community, we are eager and waiting for 2024 to start to make some money. Kandace, we haven't been making any money. We just break even or loss. So 2024 is the year when we're hoping to see our balance sheets move to a positive, and we're looking forward to that.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, because once the business community does well, it means something is good is happening here in Tobago, and it will benefit everybody. Did he follow through also in setting, you know, meetings, regular meetings with you guys, so to make sure that you can keep that accountability and keep them in check and make sure that you're following through on the plans that were made?
That's correct. We did set quarterly meetings, and we also asked for breakout meetings with the various secretaries so we can hear some of their plans for the various divisions and we can follow through with it. So our first meeting will be with the Secretary for Education and Agriculture, and we're hoping that meeting will be very cordial and we can learn about the plans for education. And we have some little pointers that we want to share with the Secretary as well with Education, and also the Secretary for Agriculture. We want to hear about her plans for a division going forward, because it's important that we look at agriculture. Agriculture plays a very important part in us in Tobago, and we as a business community, we have the agro processors, and we really want to know a couple of things, and we're hoping that meeting come off as soon as possible so that we could really engage that conversation as we want to.
And one of the things that he ended 2023 on was opening that or launching the help desk for businesses to get that, I mean, get the assistance they need to grow their business and to develop, you know, just whether it's their accounts and their registrations, and or even just to take their business to the next level. How has that been going?
Well, great, and I'm glad you asked about it, because, you know, putting all these things together, we as a chamber is an NGO, so we're a non-profit organization, and we're hoping to seek funding. Our landlord just raised our rent, so Kandace, we had to look for money. So we all over right now. We have a fundraising we're hoping to have in February, just the Sunday before Carnival, so that we could raise some funds. Kandace, we're all about assisting the Tobago business, and the only way we can do this thing is if we get some funding. So we're hoping at that fundraising we're able to raise funds to assist in that help desk, because that help desk need to be staffed, and they need to have players. We need to have folks there assisting the business folks all across the island. So because all of this, Kandace, is as nearly free to the members, right? So hence the reason why we need funding, and we're asking for much contribution and the support from the Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago to assist us with that help desk in terms of funding going forward. But the help desk is there, and we're embarked, it's open, and we're now moving to the next stage where we need some adequate funding to move forward.
Certainly. And then what about in terms of getting your businesses ready for the procurement legislation? Now, I mean, we've seen some of the challenges even that a few of the secretaries has expressed to us is that they've been having challenges with the service providers in terms of what is required and so on. And we had the chief secretary last Friday telling even the band leaders, you know, you have to have a separate bank account to receive your grants and all those things. You know, how is that coming along within your sector in terms of getting everything, because we know it's a onerous process.
So what we did, we extended the invitation to the promoters and the band leaders, the various associations, to at least if one of them could become a member of the chamber, so that we could assist them in that whole process. I mean, Kandace, we live in this space. We're doing this every day. We're doing company formation every day. We're opening bank accounts for companies. Kandace, we're doing taxes for companies. We're doing that every single day. So we are the best person. It's not a copybook we're going to read from or some literature. We are actually doing the work, so we understand the process. So we are asking the band leaders and all the other folks in the space, the promoters, we are inviting them to the chamber so that we could assist them in that process. So you don't have that issue where you're sending an invoice to the THA or sending an invoice and you put, please pay the check into Kandace's name. Kandace is not the business name. Kandace is not the company name. And that's wrong. You're not supposed to be doing that. So hence the reason why we want to assist the band leaders and them in getting the business registered, getting them opening bank accounts. Because part of our team are bankers. We have about 3 bankers within our team. So they can assist you in getting that account open in one day. It's as easy as that. So hence the reason why we're asking for the support we can get at the help desk. and all our fundraising events is the first one for the year. We're hoping that we have a good uptake in the tickets for that event, and it just it's priced reasonable, $300, and I'm sure and the members will gravitate and do
And
come
what is
out.
the event?
The event will be the Carnival Sunday, and it will be held at the rooftop of Smithfield Plaza, overlooking Scarborough. It's going to be a real nice entertainment and good evening event for mature folks to come and enjoy the Carnival time with us.
All right, great. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Williams. And viewers, that's how we end this segment, but we got a whole lot more coming up for you on GMT, so don't you go anywhere.